The CEO's surprise. His daughters storm the stage. Imagine the deafening silence, the flash of cameras, the collective gasp of an entire ballroom. A powerful CEO, renowned for his ruthless business acumen and his public claim of infertility, stands at the podium, basking in the applause of the city's elite. Suddenly, two identical 7-year-old girls, in white dresses and blue bows, run onto the stage, crying out, "Daddy, we finally found you!" The revelation shatters the illusion of his perfect life, exposing a hidden past and a desperate mother watching from the wings. What happens when a man's carefully constructed world collides with the undeniable truth of his own flesh and blood? This is a story of a shocking public confrontation, a bitter fight for recognition, and the incredible journey of a family striving to heal. The unveiling. "Daddy!" Lily and Rose shouted in unison, running towards the stage where Mr. Victor Sterling had just finished his inaugural speech. The murmur of the guests was cut short like a knife. Victor froze in front of the microphone, watching as two identical 7-year-old girls climbed onto the stage in their white dresses and blue bows. "Daddy, we finally found you!" Lily stretched her arms towards him. "We've been looking for you for a long time," Rose added, tears in her eyes. Television cameras moved like hungry sharks. Flashes began to fire non-stop. Victor looked towards the audience and found the eyes of Ms. Amelia Brooks, standing by a column, observing the scene with a mixture of terror and determination. "What does this mean?" murmured Ms. Caroline Sterling, Victor's sister, approaching the stage with a distraught face. Victor took the microphone with trembling hands. "This is a misunderstanding," his voice echoed throughout the ballroom. "I don't know who these children are," a journalist shouted from the audience. "Mr. Sterling, they're your daughters." "I don't have children," Victor raised his voice. "It's medically impossible. I'm infertile." Amelia felt the ground move under her feet. Lily and Rose looked at Victor with confusion. "But," Lily tried to speak, but a security guard was already approaching. "Don't touch them!" Amelia appeared on stage like a fierce animal protecting her cubs. "They're my daughters." The ballroom erupted in murmurs. The cameras focused on Amelia, a 30-year-old woman, brown hair pulled back in a simple ponytail, wearing a black suit that contrasted with the elegance of the guests. "And you?" a reporter asked. "Amelia Brooks," she replied, taking her daughter's hands. "And he knows exactly who I am." Victor stared at her. For a second, something flashed in his eyes, a flicker of recognition that immediately vanished. "I've never seen her in my life," he lied. "Liar!" shouted Mr. Finn, a 15-year-old who appeared next to Amelia. "Uncle, stop pretending!" "Uncle?" Caroline paled. "Who is this boy?" "I'm Finn Brooks, Lily and Rose's cousin," the young man pointed at Victor. "And he's their father, even if he wants to deny it." Security guards surrounded the family. The event director went on stage trying to control the situation. "Ladies and gentlemen of the press, please." "No!" Lily broke free from her mother's hand. "I want to talk to my daddy." She approached Victor, who instinctively recoiled. "We know him," the girl said firmly. "We have his pictures. Mommy told us everything." "This is a circus," Caroline murmured in Victor's ear. "We have to get them out of here immediately." "Pictures?" a journalist asked. "What kind of pictures?" Amelia clenched her fists. The moment she had feared for years had finally arrived, but not the way she had planned. "Victor," she said, her voice cutting through the noise. "Look at them closely. Look into their eyes, and tell me you don't see anything familiar." He forced himself to look at the twins. Lily had his same green eyes. Rose, the same chin shape. The resemblance was undeniable. It's impossible," he stammered. "Victor," Caroline nudged him. "Don't say anything else." "Daddy," Rose approached timidly. "Why don't you recognize us? Mommy says we look a lot like you." The entire room held its breath. The cameras kept rolling. Victor looked at his guests, at his company executives, at the high society that had watched him grow up. His reputation was crumbling in real time. "This ends here," he declared, motioning to the guards. "Get these people out of the event." "We're not just people. We're your daughters," Lily cried, with a desperation that broke Amelia's heart. The guards approached, but Finn stepped in. "Wait a minute," he shouted. "I have proof." He pulled out his phone and showed the screen to the cameras. "This is a picture of Victor Sterling with my Aunt Amelia 8 years ago. I found it on her social media." The camera flashes intensified. Victor felt the world reel. "That picture," he whispered. And for the first time, his mask of control cracked. Amelia looked him directly in the eyes. "Now you recognize me, don't you?" Amelia closed her eyes, and for a moment, she was back in that small cafe in the West Village, 8 years ago. Victor was 25 then, hair messy from the wind, and a smile that made her forget everything else. What do you think is the most shocking aspect of this public confrontation for Victor? How do you predict this revelation will impact his life and career? Share your thoughts below. A viral sensation and a mother's pain. "What are you thinking about, Mommy?" Lily pulled her out of her memories. They were in the taxi heading back home after the scandal. Finn was in the front seat, checking his phone, where videos of the event were already circulating on all social media. "I'm thinking about when I met your daddy," Amelia replied, stroking Rose's hair, who had fallen asleep on her lap. "Was he handsome?" Lily asked with childlike curiosity. "Very," Amelia smiled sadly. "And very different from the man you saw today." Finn turned from the front seat. "Auntie, there are already like 1,000 videos on TikTok. We're famous." "That wasn't the idea," Amelia murmured. The truth was, she had never planned for things to happen this way. For months, Lily and Rose had been asking about their father. At first, Amelia told them he was a good man who lived very far away. But the girls grew, and the questions became more specific. One day, Finn found them crying because at school their classmates mocked them for not having a daddy. That same day, the teenager decided to take matters into his own hands. "Auntie, show me his pictures," Finn had said 3 months ago. Amelia had shown him the few photographs she kept of Victor. Finn, an expert in social media like any teenager, began his investigation. "I found him," he had shouted one afternoon. "His name is Victor Sterling, and he's super rich." From then on, everything had spiraled out of control. Finn showed the twins videos of Victor at corporate events, television interviews, photographs in society magazines. The girls became obsessed. "Why doesn't he live with us if he's our daddy?" Rose asked constantly. Amelia didn't know how to explain that Victor never knew of their existence. That when she tried to contact him after the birth, she was met with secretaries who hung up the phone and emails that were never answered. The taxi stopped in front of their modest house in a quiet Brooklyn neighborhood. It was a completely different world from the skyscrapers where Victor had his offices. "Mommy!" Lily took her hand as they got out. "Is Daddy coming to visit us?" "I don't know, my love." Finn helped carry a sleeping Rose. While Amelia looked for the keys, he continued checking his phone. "Auntie, look at this!" He showed her the screen. "News is already out. Scandal at Sterling Corporation. Supposed daughters of the CEO appear." "Supposed?" Amelia repeated bitterly. Once inside, Amelia laid Rose on her bed. Lily refused to change out of her white dress. "I want to stay pretty in case Daddy comes," she said. Finn sat in the small living room surrounded by the drawings the twins had made of their father over the past few months. There were hundreds. Victor playing with them, taking them to school, celebrating birthdays they had never shared. "How did you come up with the idea for them to go to the event?" Amelia asked, pouring instant coffee. "I saw the invitation online." Finn shrugged. "I thought if he saw them in person, he couldn't deny it." "Well, he denied it very well. Auntie, I saw his face when the girls shouted, "Daddy!" He froze. He knows they're his daughters. Amelia sat beside him, looking at the drawings. "Finn, do you remember when you were little and asked about your daddy?" "Yes." Finn had lost his father at 5. "But I had pictures with him. Lily and Rose don't even have that." At that moment, Lily appeared in the living room with a photo album. "Mommy, tell me again how you met Daddy." Amelia sighed. It was a story she had told dozens of times, but it always ended the same way, with Victor disappearing from their lives. "I worked at a coffee shop near his university," Amelia began. "He came every day at 3 in the afternoon. He always ordered the same thing, Americano coffee and a chocolate donut. And then?" Lily already knew the story by heart, but she liked to listen. "One day it was raining heavily, and I was leaving work. He offered to drive me home in his car." Finn knew the rest of the story, how Victor and Amelia began dating secretly because he came from a wealthy family who would never approve of the relationship, how they fell in love during 6 wonderful months, and how everything ended abruptly after a fight with his family. "And why did he leave, Mommy?" Lily asked. Amelia looked out the window at the city sparkling in the distance, where Victor lived in his world of luxury. "Because sometimes, my love, people get scared when things become too real." That night, after Lily finally fell asleep, Amelia stayed awake looking at her phone. The videos of the event had gone viral. The comments were cruel. "Gold digger. Opportunist. How convenient they appear now." But there were also messages of support, single mothers who understood her situation, people who saw the undeniable resemblance between Victor and the twins. Finn approached and sat beside her. "Auntie, do you think we did the right thing?" Amelia looked towards the room where the twins had finally fallen asleep after crying for hours. "I don't know, Finn, but there's no turning back now." "Do you believe Amelia and Finn were justified in forcing this public confrontation, even if it caused pain? What are the ethical implications of their actions? Share your opinions below. The fight for truth. "I want a DNA test," Victor declared in front of television cameras, 2 days after the scandal. "I will not allow my name to be stained by false accusations." Amelia sharply turned off the television. Lily and Rose looked at her from the sofa, still in their pajamas because they no longer wanted to go to school. The other children pointed at them, and their teachers treated them like circus freaks. "What's a DNA test, Mommy?" Rose asked. "It's a test that proves if Victor is really your daddy," Amelia explained, trying to stay calm. "But we already know he's our daddy, right?" Lily frowned. "Yes, my love, but he wants to be sure." Finn entered the living room eating cereal directly from the box. "Auntie, there are like 20 journalists outside. We can't go out." Amelia peered out the window. Television vans blocked the street. Reporters with microphones waited for any movement. The phone rang. Amelia hesitated before answering. "Ms. Brooks?" An elegant voice greeted her. "This is Ms. Evelyn Hayes." Amelia felt her blood run cold. "What do you want?" "To talk. In person. I have a proposal that you'll want to hear." 2 hours later, Amelia found herself in the most expensive restaurant in Manhattan, feeling completely out of place, her simple blouse contrasting with so much elegance. Evelyn Hayes awaited her at a private table, a woman in her 40s, perfectly groomed, with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Sit down," she ordered rather than invited. "I'll be direct." Evelyn wasted no time. "I don't know if those girls are my brother's daughters, but I don't care. What I care about is protecting our family name. Your daughters have names," Amelia replied firmly. "Lily and Rose." "Whatever." Evelyn waved her hand dismissively. "Here's my offer. $2 million. You take the money, disappear from New York with the girls, and never mention the Sterling name again." Amelia was speechless. It was more money than she had seen in her entire life. "And if you don't accept, then we'll destroy you." Evelyn smiled coldly. I have private investigators who are already looking into your past. Every mistake you've made, every debt, every minor legal problem, everything will come to light. I haven't done anything wrong. That doesn't matter. The press can make anything seem scandalous. Do you want your daughters to grow up seeing their mother publicly humiliated every day? Amelia stood up from the table. I'm not selling my daughters. Then prepare for war. That same night, Amelia received a legal summons. Victor had hired the best lawyers in the country for the paternity test. The examination took place 3 days later at a private clinic. Paparazzi followed every move. Amelia arrived with the twins, who clung to her hands in fear. Mommy, will it hurt us? Lily asked. It's just a swab in your mouth, my love. It doesn't hurt at all. Victor arrived in an armored SUV, surrounded by bodyguards. He didn't look at Amelia or the girls when he entered the clinic. Daddy, Rose tried to approach him in the waiting room. Don't talk to me until we have the results. Victor completely ignored her. Amelia felt her heart break, seeing her daughter's confused face. The results arrived a week later. Amelia was at home when the phone rang. Ms. Brooks, it was the doctor. The results are positive. Mr. Sterling is the biological father of the twins with 99.9% certainty. Amelia sank onto the sofa. Finn, who had overheard the conversation, ran to hug his cousins. See, your daddy can't deny it anymore. But when Amelia turned on the television, she realized everything was more complicated. Victor had called a press conference. The results confirm that I am the biological father, he declared in front of the cameras. But that doesn't mean I will assume any emotional or financial responsibility beyond what the law requires. Reporters shouted questions. Will you meet your daughters? I have no interest in forming a relationship with them, Victor replied coldly. My lawyer will handle the corresponding legal aspects. Amelia turned off the television with tears in her eyes. Lily and Rose had heard everything. Mommy! Lily hugged her. Why does Daddy say he doesn't want to meet us? I don't know, my love. Did we do something wrong? Rose asked. No, sweetheart, you're perfect. The problem isn't you. That night, Finn found Amelia crying in the kitchen. Auntie, do you regret what we did? Amelia looked towards the room where the twins had finally fallen asleep after crying for hours. I don't regret that they know the truth, she said, but it hurts that the truth is hurting them so much. The next day, newspapers published the results on the front page. Confirmed, Victor Sterling is father of twins, but the headlines also included statements from Caroline. An opportunistic woman, taking advantage of a moment of vulnerability. Amelia knew the battle had just begun. Victor had acknowledged biological paternity, but he had made it very clear that it didn't mean he was going to be a father. Finn showed her his phone. Auntie, look at this. There's a Facebook page called Justice for Lily and Rose. It already has 50,000 followers. Amelia sighed. Her private life had become a public spectacle, and the worst part was that her daughters were paying the highest price. Finn, she finally said, I think this is just beginning. Do you think Victor's public denial of emotional responsibility is a sign of his true feelings, or is he being manipulated by others? What actions do you think Amelia should take next to protect her daughters? Share your thoughts below. A web of deceit unraveled. Sir Victor Sterling woke up in a cold sweat for the third consecutive night. The same dream repeated itself. A brown-haired woman crying in the rain, shouting something he couldn't hear. He got up and walked to his panoramic window, overlooking the entire city. Why can't I remember? He murmured to himself. Since the DNA test, fragments of memories appeared and disappeared like ghosts. A familiar laugh, the smell of coffee, a small hand intertwined with his. His phone rang. It was his assistant. Mr. Sterling, you have an appointment with Dr. Maxwell at 10 a.m. Victor had decided to seek psychological help. The memory lapses were driving him crazy. In the office, Dr. Maxwell, an older man with a gray beard, observed him patiently. "Victor, memory blocks often occur when we experience intense emotional traumas. Do you remember exactly what happened 8 years ago?" "There were family problems." Victor shifted uncomfortably in the armchair. "My sister and my mother had plans for my future. They wanted me to marry someone from our social class." "And you had other plans?" For the first time in years, Victor allowed a clear image to come to his mind. Amelia serving coffee, smiling at him as if he were the only person in the world. "There was a girl," he admitted. "She was different. What happened to her? I don't remember well. Everything became confused. My family objected. There were fights. And then she disappeared from my life." The doctor took notes. "Is it possible that girl is the twins' mother?" Victor felt a knot in his stomach. "It's possible." Meanwhile, Amelia was checking her email at the public library. Finn had taken the twins to the park so they could play without journalists. A new message appeared in her inbox. The sender was a friend. "Ms. Brooks, I worked at Sterling Corporation 8 years ago. I have something that interests you. Let's meet at Luna Cafe at 3 p.m. Amelia hesitated. It could be a trap, but it could also be her only chance to find answers. Luna Cafe was almost empty when Amelia arrived. A man in his 50s, nervous and poorly dressed, waited for her at a back table. "Are you Amelia Brooks?" She nodded. "I'm Mr. Robert Evans. I was an administrative assistant at Sterling Corporation." The man pulled out a yellowed envelope. "This is yours." Amelia opened the envelope with trembling hands. Inside was a handwritten letter. Her own handwriting, dated 7.5 years ago. "Dear Victor, I hope this letter reaches you well. I have something important to tell you. I'm pregnant. I know things ended badly between us, but I think you deserve to know. Please call me. Amelia." "Victor, I never sent this letter," Amelia murmured. "Yes, you did." Robert leaned forward. "But it never reached Mr. Victor's hands. Ms. Caroline ordered me to intercept all personal correspondence addressed to her brother. This letter arrived at my desk. Caroline read it and ordered me to destroy it." Amelia felt the world reel. "Why?" "Because Ms. Caroline already had plans for her brother. He was going to get engaged to Ms. Juliana Davis, daughter of an important family. Your pregnancy ruined those plans. Why are you telling me this now?" Robert sighed. "Because I was fired last week. They said it was due to cutbacks, but I know it's because I have compromising information. Ms. Caroline wants to eliminate all evidence." Amelia carefully put the letter away. "Are there more letters?" "This was the only one, but there's something else." Robert pulled out a small recorder. "I recorded conversations between Caroline and the doctors about Victor's infertility diagnosis." "What about it?" "It's false. Victor was never infertile. Caroline paid doctors to falsify the medical studies." Amelia was speechless. Why would she do that? To control him. If he believed he couldn't have children, he would never question why they weren't arriving. It was the perfect excuse for him to focus only on the company and the convenient marriages she arranged. That afternoon, Amelia confronted Victor in his office. She showed up without an appointment, getting past secretaries and security guards. "I need to talk to you," she shouted when she finally reached his office. Victor looked up from his documents, surprised. "How did you get in here?" "Read it." Amelia threw the letter onto his desk. "Read what I wrote to you 7 years ago." Victor picked up the letter. As he read, his face changed from confusion to complete shock. This can't be real. Robert Evans gave it to me today. Your sister intercepted my letter. She knew I was pregnant and hid it from you." Victor stood up abruptly. "Caroline!" His shout echoed throughout the office. His sister appeared minutes later, feigning calm. "What's wrong, Victor? Why did you show me the letter? Explain this." Caroline paled. but maintained her composure. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't lie to me. Victor was furious. You knew Amelia was pregnant, and you didn't tell me anything. I did what was best for you. Caroline raised her voice. That woman wasn't from our class. She would have ruined your life. That was my decision. You were too young to understand. Caroline crossed her arms. Look where you are now. You're successful, rich, respected. If you had stayed with her, you'd be a failure. Amelia, who had remained silent, finally spoke. Victor, there's something else you need to know. She showed him the recorder Robert had given her. Your infertility diagnosis is also false. Victor's eyes filled with a fury Amelia had never seen. What? He pressed play. Caroline's voice was clearly heard. Dr. Smith has the false studies ready. Victor will never know he's perfectly fertile. Caroline tried to grab the recorder, but Victor stopped her. My whole life has been a lie, he shouted. I did it for your own good. Caroline began to cry. I had to protect you. Victor looked at Amelia, then the letter, then his sister. Get out of my office, he told Caroline in an icy voice. Get out of my company and never come back. When Caroline left crying, Victor collapsed into his chair. Amelia, I didn't know anything. For the first time in 8 years, Amelia saw the man she had fallen in love with. I know, she whispered. Now I know. How do you think Victor's reaction to the truth about Caroline's deception will change his understanding of his past and his relationship with Amelia? What do you anticipate will happen next in this unfolding drama? Share your predictions. A painful choice. Leaving for Spain 3 days after the confrontation with Caroline, Amelia woke up to dozens of missed calls. Finn was running through the house shouting, Auntie, come see this! It's urgent! On television, an elegant blonde woman was crying in front of the cameras. Amelia immediately recognized her. Ms. Juliana Davis, the heiress to a luxury hotel chain. I'm pregnant with Victor's baby, Juliana declared between sobs. We've been dating secretly for months. We were going to announce our engagement. But this situation with those women has complicated everything. The presenter handed her a tissue. Are you sure Mr. Sterling is the father? Completely. Juliana touched her belly. I'm 2 months pregnant. Victor and I are very much in love. Amelia felt her stomach churn. Lily and Rose appeared in their pajamas. Mommy, who is that lady? Rose asked. Why does she say she's pregnant with Daddy's baby? Lily added, confused. I don't know, my loves. Finn changed the channel. On another news report, a reporter interviewed passers-by on the street. What do you think about the supposed daughters of businessman Victor Sterling? They're obviously opportunists, a lady replied. Now that he has a girlfriend from his social class and a baby on the way, these opportunists appear. It's typical, a man added. These women are always looking for easy money. Amelia turned off the television. She felt publicly humiliated again. Her phone rang. It was an unknown number. Amelia? It was Victor. His voice sounded strange, confused. I saw the news, Amelia said. Congratulations on your engagement. Amelia, this isn't what it looks like. Aren't you engaged to Juliana Davis? It's complicated. I need to see you. Can we talk? I think we've talked enough, Victor. Amelia hung up. She wasn't going to let him hurt her again. Meanwhile, in the offices of Sterling Corporation, Victor confronted Juliana in a private meeting. What the hell are you doing? He shouted at her. Juliana, perfectly made up and dressed in a pink suit, smiled calmly. Saving your reputation. And mine. You're not pregnant. How can you be so sure? Juliana pulled an ultrasound from her bag. Here's the proof. Victor examined the document. It looked real. This is impossible. We never what? Juliana approached dangerously close. Don't you remember that night 2 months ago? You were very drunk after the business dinner. Victor felt a blank in his memory. Indeed, there had been a dinner with investors. He had drunk too much. Juliana had driven him home because he couldn't drive. I don't remember anything from that night. Well, I remember everything, Juliana smiled. And now you're going to marry me, or I'll completely ruin your life. What? My father has contacts in all the media across the country. One word from him and Amelia Brooks will be publicly destroyed. Her daughters, too. You want them to grow up seeing their mother publicly humiliated every day? Victor felt the walls closing in on him. That afternoon, Finn was browsed the internet when he found something strange. "Auntie, come here," he called to Amelia. "Look at this." On the screen was a picture of Juliana Davis at a party, dated 1 week ago. In the image, she was holding a champagne glass. "Pregnant women don't drink alcohol," Amelia murmured. "Wait, there's more." Finn continued searching. "Look at this picture from 3 days ago." The image showed Juliana at a spa, entering a sauna. "Saunas are dangerous for pregnant women," Amelia said. "Any pregnant woman would know that." Finn continued investigating. He found social media posts of Juliana doing intense exercise, eating sushi, drinking coffee. "Auntie, this woman is definitely not pregnant, but she has an ultrasound. Ultrasounds can be faked, or it could be someone else's." Amelia felt a spark of hope. "Can you find more evidence?" Finn set to work like a digital detective, reviewing all of Juliana's social media, looking for connections, analyzing dates. 2 hours later, he shouted with excitement. "I got it! Auntie, come see this!" On the screen was a WhatsApp conversation between Juliana and someone named Dr. M. Finn had hacked Juliana's phone using techniques he had learned on YouTube. The messages were devastating. "Juliana, do you have the fake ultrasound yet?" "Dr. M, yes, but it costs an extra $50,000. "Juliana, it doesn't matter. Just make sure it looks real." "Dr. M, are you sure about this? It's illegal." "Juliana, it's the only way to get Victor to marry me." Amelia couldn't believe what she was reading. "Finn, this is evidence of fraud. There's more." Finn continued showing messages. "Look at this. Another conversation, this time between Juliana and Caroline. Caroline, is the plan working?" "Juliana, perfectly. Victor is confused, and the press already thinks Amelia is an opportunist. Caroline, good. Once you get married, we can control everything." "Juliana, what about the girls?" "Caroline, Victor will completely reject them once he marries you. Problem solved." Amelia felt pure rage. "These women have been planning to destroy my daughters from the beginning." Finn downloaded all the conversations and saved them on several devices. "What do we do with this?" Amelia picked up her phone and dialed Victor's number. "Victor, I need to see you urgently." "Amelia, this isn't a good time. Juliana and I have to—" "Juliana is lying to you," Amelia interrupted. "She's not pregnant, and I have proof." Silence on the other end of the line. "What?" "Meet me in an hour and bring Juliana. It's time she knows we discovered her game." Amelia hung up and looked at Finn. "Are you ready to end this?" Finn smiled. "Born ready, Auntie." That night, the truth was going to come out. And this time, Amelia wasn't going to let anyone manipulate her family. What emotions do you think Victor is experiencing as he uncovers the layers of deception surrounding him? How do you predict this final confrontation will play out? And what will be the immediate consequences for all involved? Share your thoughts. A crossroads. Spain or family? Amelia waited at the downtown coffee shop with Finn's laptop open and all the evidence organized. Her heart pounded like a war drum. Victor arrived first, alone, and with deep, dark circles under his eyes. He looked defeated. "Where's Juliana?" Amelia asked. "She says she feels sick from the pregnancy." Victor sat across from her. "What proof do you have?" Amelia turned the screen towards him. The WhatsApp messages appeared one by one. Victor read them in silence, his expression changing from confusion to disbelief, and finally, to pure fury. This can't be real. Finn hacked her phone. It's all true. Victor put his hands to his face. My sister and Juliana have been playing me like a puppet. Not just you. Amelia closed the laptop. They've been playing with my daughter's lives. They planned for you to reject them completely. Amelia, I know, she interrupted him. Now I know, but it's too late. What do you mean? Amelia took a deep breath. I'm leaving the country. With the girls. Victor looked at her as if she had slapped him. What? I already bought the tickets. We're leaving for Spain tomorrow. My sister lives there. The girls can have a normal life, without paparazzi, without public humiliation. Amelia, please. Please what, Victor? Tears began to roll down her cheeks. For 8 years, my daughters have asked about their father. They finally find him, and he rejects them on national television. Then a fake woman appears, saying she's pregnant with your baby. The media calls us opportunists. What kind of life can I give them here? Victor remained silent. Besides, Amelia continued, I've already published all the evidence on social media. In an hour, the whole country will know that Juliana and your sister scammed you. The press is going to go crazy. We don't want to be here when that happens. That same afternoon, as Amelia packed the few belongings that fit in 2 suitcases, Lily appeared in her room with an old notebook in her hands. Mommy, can I take this? It was a notebook full of drawings Lily had made over the past few months. All of them were about Victor, him playing with them, taking them to school, celebrating imaginary birthdays. Of course, my love. Do you think Daddy will ever see my drawings? Amelia knelt in front of her daughter. I don't know, Lily, but they're very beautiful. I'm sure he'd like them. Can we leave a copy with Finn, in case Daddy wants to see them someday? Amelia's heart broke. Yes, we can do that. The next day, at the airport, the farewell was heartbreaking. Finn hugged his cousins, as if he would never see them again. Take care of yourselves, okay? He told the twins. And don't forget your favorite cousin. You're our only cousin! Rose laughed through tears. Lily handed Finn a copy of the drawing notebook. It's for Daddy, in case he ever wants to meet us. Finn took the notebook carefully, as if it were a treasure. As they stood in line to board, Amelia checked her phone one last time. The evidence against Juliana and Caroline had gone viral. Fake Juliana and lying Caroline were trending nationally. The media desperately demanded statements. Ms. Brooks, a reporter approached. Any comment on the Juliana Davis scandal? Only that the truth always comes to light, Amelia replied without stopping. When they were about to board, Finn received a call. It was his mother. Auntie, your dad's here, she shouted over the phone. Victor is here. He wants to see you. Amelia felt her heart stop. What? He's crying, Auntie, Finn said. He says you can't leave. The twins overheard the conversation. Daddy's here, Lily asked hopefully. Amelia looked at the biggest decision of her life. She could board the plane and give her daughters the peace they deserved. Or she could stay and risk more pain. Finn, what exactly is he doing? He has Lily's notebook in his hands. He's looking at all the drawings and crying. Auntie, I've never seen a man cry like that. Lily took her mother's hand. Mommy, can we stay? Just to talk to him? Amelia closed her eyes. When she opened them, she made a decision that would change everything. Finn, tell him that. Tell him we're coming. They left the airport line. Amelia knew she might be making a mistake, but for the first time in 8 years, she felt that perhaps, just perhaps, there was hope. What do you think motivates Amelia's decision to stay and face Victor after all the pain she and her daughters have endured? Is it hope for reconciliation or something else? Share your insights below. A father's redemption. During the drive back home, the twins didn't stop asking questions. Is Daddy going to live with us? Is he going to take us to school? Is he not going to say we're not his daughters anymore? Slowly, Amelia told them. First, let's hear what he has to say. When they arrived at the house, they found Victor sitting in the living room, surrounded by drawings. His eyes were red, and he held a specific drawing. Him and the twins in a park, smiling. Seeing them enter, he immediately stood up. Amelia, thank you for coming back. I haven't come back, she clarified. I just came to listen to you. Victor knelt in front of Lily and Rose. My girls, my girls. His voice broke. Forgive me. I've been the worst father in the world. Lily timidly approached. Are you not going to deny we're your daughters anymore? Never again. Victor hugged her. You are the most beautiful thing that has ever happened to me, and I was too stupid to realize it. For the first time in 8 years, Amelia saw the man she had fallen in love with, but she also knew that love wasn't enough. Actions mattered more than words. Victor, she said, if you really want to be part of our lives, you're going to have to prove it. Every day. I'm going to do it, he replied, with a determination Amelia hadn't seen before. I promise you. What is the significance of Victor's immediate apology to his daughters? Do you believe he is truly remorseful, or is this a reaction to the public backlash and loss of his old life? Share your thoughts. A family rebuilt, a legacy redefined. The family meeting at the Sterling mansion looked more like a war tribunal than a business meeting. Victor had summoned the entire family and the company's board of directors after the evidence against Juliana and Caroline went viral. Amelia arrived with the twins and Finn. She felt out of place in that immense house, full of marble and gold. But Victor had insisted on her presence. Everything that happened affects all of us, he had told her. And I want Lily and Rose to see how things are set right when someone does something wrong. In the main living room, Caroline waited, sitting on a leather armchair, perfectly groomed, but with a paleness that betrayed her. Juliana had not appeared. Where's your fiancé? Victor asked sarcastically. Juliana had a medical emergency, Caroline replied firmly. She's in the hospital. Finn raised his phone. Strange, because an hour ago she uploaded photos to Instagram from a spa in Cancun. Victor turned to his sister. How long are you going to keep lying? I'm not lying about anything. Caroline lifted her chin. Juliana is really pregnant. Amelia took out her laptop and connected it to the giant television in the living room. Then explain this, she said, playing the WhatsApp conversations. The robotic voice of the text translator filled the room. Do you have the fake ultrasound yet? Yes, but it costs an extra $50,000. The board members who had arrived looked at each other in shock. Mr. Edward Sterling, Victor and Caroline's father, turned pale. Caroline, the old man murmured. What is this? It's a manipulation. Caroline stood up abruptly. These people are desperate. They faked those conversations. Finn stood up. Do you want me to call cyber police to check Juliana's phone? Caroline paled further. Amelia continued playing more messages. When she got to the conversation between Caroline and Juliana, planning to reject the twins, Lily hugged her mother. Why doesn't that lady like us? She asked softly. Victor heard the question and turned to his sister with controlled fury. You planned for me to reject my own daughters. Those girls don't belong in our world. Caroline finally exploded. Look where they come from. Their mother is a coffee shop employee. They live in a house smaller than our garage. They're my daughters, Victor shouted. They're a mistake, Caroline shouted back. Just like that woman was in your life. The silence that followed was deafening. Lily and Rose hid behind Amelia. Edward Sterling approached his daughter. Caroline, is it true you intercepted correspondence addressed to your brother? Daddy, Yes or no? Caroline looked around the room. Everyone watched her with a mixture of shock and disgust. Yes, she finally admitted. But it was for his good. And you paid doctors to falsify studies? The doctors needed money. It was easy. Edward Sterling sank heavily into his chair. In 60 years of building this company, I have never felt so ashamed. One of the board members stood up. Mr. Sterling, with all due respect, this is a scandal that can ruin the company's reputation. We need to take immediate measures. Caroline, Edward Sterling said in a grave voice, you are hereby removed from all your positions in the company, effective immediately. Daddy, you can't do this! Not only can I, but I must. You have committed fraud, interception of correspondence, and you have damaged our family name irreparably. Caroline looked at Victor in desperation. Victor, tell them I did it for you. What you did was unforgivable, he replied. You destroyed 8 years of my daughter's lives, and 8 years of my life too. At that moment, Finn received a notification on his phone. Auntie, he shouted to Amelia. Juliana just uploaded a video to Instagram. He connected his phone to the television. The video showed Juliana on a beach with a margarita in her hand, laughing. Hello, everyone, she said in the video. I know there's a lot of drama in the news, but I'm perfectly fine. I'm not pregnant. I never was. Caroline paid me to fake this whole situation, but I'm tired of the drama. See you. The video ended. The silence in the room was total. Well, Edward Sterling said, that resolves any remaining doubt. Caroline collapsed into her armchair, crying. I just wanted to protect the family. No, Victor interrupted her. You wanted to control my life. There's a big difference. He turned to Amelia and the twins. Amelia, I can't apologize for 8 lost years, but I can promise you that the rest of my life will be different. He knelt in front of Lily and Rose. Girls, will you forgive me for being so bad to you? Lily timidly approached. Are you going to be our daddy for real now? I'm going to be the best daddy I can be, every day. Rose also approached. And you're not going to say you don't know us anymore? Never again. You are the most important things in the world to me. Edward Sterling approached Amelia. Ms. Brooks, on behalf of my family, I apologize for all the harm we have caused. Amelia nodded. What matters now is the future. One of the board members cleared his throat. Mr. Victor, given the circumstances, we believe it would be prudent for you to take some time off from the company to resolve these family matters. Victor stood up. In fact, I resigned from my position as CEO, effective immediately. Everyone was surprised. What? Edward Sterling asked. Dad, my entire life I've put the company before everything else. And look at me. I lost 8 years with my daughters by prioritizing work over family. I'm not going to make the same mistake again. Amelia felt something she hadn't felt in years. Real hope. Victor looked at his family. For the first time in my life, I'm going to do the right thing. And the right thing is to be the father Lily and Rose deserve. What is the most impactful moment in this entire confrontation? Do you believe Victor's resignation and commitment to fatherhood represent true redemption? Share your thoughts. A new home, a new beginning. When they left the mansion that afternoon, Finn walked beside the twins. How do you feel? Confused, Lily admitted. But happy too? It's normal to be confused, Amelia told them. A lot has happened. Victor caught up with them. Amelia, can we talk? Alone? She nodded. Finn took the twins to play in the garden. I know I can't erase what happened, Victor said, but I want to try to build something new. Not as a couple, if you're not ready, but as parents, as a family. Amelia looked at him. For the first time in 8 years, she saw real sincerity in his eyes. It's going to take time, Victor. I have all the time in the world. What do you think all the time in the world means to Victor now, given his past priorities? What kind of future do you envision for this newly formed family? Share your insights. Victor woke up in his new house, a modest 2-story building in a quaint neighborhood of Brooklyn, just 10 minutes from the twins' school. For the first time in years, he hadn't woken up in a 20-room mansion, and for the first time in years, he felt at peace. His phone rang. It was Lily. Daddy, are you awake yet? You have to take us to school today, remember? Victor smiled. He had established this routine 3 weeks ago, and the girls called him every morning to make sure he didn't forget. I'm awake, Princess. I'll be there in 30 minutes. He dressed in jeans and a simple t-shirt. No $5,000 suits. No ties that cost more than many families' monthly salaries. This new version of himself still felt strange, but every day it felt more natural. When he arrived at Amelia's house, the twins were already waiting at the door with their backpacks. Daddy! Rose ran to hug him. Did you see I did my math homework by myself? Let's see. Victor checked the notebook. It's perfect. How did you learn to do division so well? Mommy taught me. She says studying is very important. Amelia appeared in the doorway, drinking coffee from a chipped mug. Good morning, she told Victor with a shy smile. Good morning. Did you sleep well? It was a simple, normal conversation, like one any pair of friendly co-parents would have. But for them, it represented a miracle. In the car, on the way to school, Lily asked him the question she asked every day. Daddy, are you picking us up today too? Of course, as always. And are we going to do homework together? We're going to do homework together. Rose leaned from the back seat. And are you going to cook with us? Victor laughed. Cooking had been his biggest challenge. A man who had eaten in the best restaurants in the world his entire life was now learning to make quesadillas without burning them. I'm going to try not to burn the food again. The girls laughed. Last week he had burned the eggs so badly they had to order pizza. Upon arriving at school, some parents still looked at them with curiosity. The media scandal had been enormous, and although things had calmed down, Victor was still recognizable. Goodbye, Daddy. Lily kissed him on the cheek. Goodbye, Princess. I love you both. We love you too, Rose replied. Seeing them walk towards the school building with their little backpacks and uniforms filled his chest with an emotion he had never felt. Pure paternal pride. Victor drove to his new job, a small consulting firm for family businesses. He earned a fraction of what he made at Sterling Corporation, but it gave him the flexibility he needed to be a present father. At 2:30 p.m., he was back at school, waiting in line with other parents to pick up his daughters. A mother approached him. Are you Lily and Rose's father? Victor tensed, expecting some negative comment. Yes. I'm their father. I just wanted to tell you that they are wonderful girls. My daughter Sophie adores them, and it's very nice to see such an involved dad. Victor felt warmth in his chest. Thank you. They're incredible. When the twins ran towards him, Victor hugged them, as if he hadn't seen them in years. How was your day? Good. Lily pulled a drawing from her backpack. Look what I made in art class. It was a drawing of a family, a mom, a dad, and 2 little girls, all holding hands in front of a house. It's our family, Lily explained. Do you like it? Victor felt a lump in his throat. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. On the way home, they stopped at the supermarket. The twins had convinced Victor to try making homemade cookies. Daddy, remember we need flour, Rose reminded him as they pushed the cart. And chocolate. Don't forget the chocolate, Lily added. Victor watched his daughters debate what kind of chocolate was best and realized that these simple moments, going to the supermarket, helping with homework, cooking together, were more valuable than any business meeting or gala dinner he had ever attended. That afternoon in Amelia's kitchen, the 4 of them tried to make cookies. Victor managed not to burn anything, although the cookies turned out a bit lopsided. They're delicious, Amelia said, biting into a cookie that clearly tasted strange. You're a very bad liar, Victor laughed, but the effort counts. Amelia smiled. Finn arrived from school and joined the burnt cookie party. Uncle, he told Victor, you're cooking less badly now. Thanks for the vote of confidence. While the twins played in the living room and Finn did homework, Amelia and Victor washed dishes together. "How do you feel about all this?" Amelia asked. "Different," Victor admitted. "For the first time in my life, I feel like I'm doing something that truly matters." The girls are very happy. "And you? How do you feel?" Amelia took a moment to answer. "Scared," she finally said. "But hopeful too." "Scared of what?" "Of trusting again. Of the girls getting used to having you, and then you deciding this is too difficult." Victor put down the plate he was washing and turned to her. "Amelia, I know I have no right to ask you to trust me after everything that happened, but I swear I won't hurt our daughters again. This isn't temporary for me. This is my life now." Amelia looked him in the eyes. For the first time in 8 years, she saw something she thought she would never see again. The man she had fallen in love with, but improved, mature. "All right," she whispered. "Let's try." Day by day. That night, when Victor said goodnight to the twins, Lily handed him another drawing. "It's so you don't forget us when you're at your house." The drawing showed Victor smiling, with the words, "Best Daddy in the World," written in red crayon. Victor drove home with tears in his eyes, the drawing on the passenger seat. For the first time in his life, he knew exactly where he belonged. What does Lily's drawing symbolize for Victor? How has his definition of belonging and success changed throughout this journey? Share your final reflections. A new legacy of love. 6 months later, the auditorium of the Greenwich Elementary School was full of nervous parents with cameras in their hands. It was the annual Family Types presentation, and Lily and Rose had been practicing their participation for weeks. Amelia settled into the 3rd row, reserving the seat next to her. Victor arrived running 5 minutes before the event began, his hair disheveled from traffic. "Did I make it on time?" he asked, sitting beside her. "Just in time," Amelia smiled. "They're super nervous." Finn sat behind them, his phone ready to record. "My cousins are going to be the best," he declared proudly. On stage, different groups of children had already presented various types of families. Families with divorced parents, adoptive families, families with grandparents as guardians. Each presentation had been sweet and emotional. "And now," the teacher announced, "Lily and Rose Brooks will tell us about families that find each other." The twins went on stage holding hands. Lily wore a blue dress and Rose a pink one. Both had their hair in ponytails, which Amelia had styled that morning with special care. "Hello," Lily said into the microphone with a trembling voice. "We're Lily and Rose, and we want to tell you about our family," Rose added. Amelia felt a lump in her throat. Victor instinctively took her hand. "We lived with our mommy for 7 years," Lily continued, "and it was very nice, but sometimes we wondered where our daddy was. Our mommy told us our daddy was a good man who lived very far away," Rose said, "but we wanted to meet him." Victor squeezed Amelia's hand. In the audience, some parents whispered, recognizing the girls from the media scandal months ago. "One day we decided to look for him." Lily took a breath. "Our cousin Finn helped us find him." Finn straightened up in his seat, proud. "When we found him, at first it was very difficult," Rose admitted. "Our daddy was confused. There were bad people who had lied to him for many years, but then our daddy understood the truth." Lily smiled. "And now he comes to pick us up from school every day. And he cooks with us," Rose added, "though sometimes he burns the food." The audience chuckled tenderly. Victor blushed. "Our parents don't live together," Lily explained, "but they get along well, and they both love us very much." "We learned that families can be different," Rose said. "Some children live with both parents in the same house. Others live like us." Lily moved closer to the microphone. "But the most important thing we learned is that a family is made of love." And sometimes love comes after birth, Rose added. Sometimes you have to look for love. Sometimes you have to fight for it. And sometimes you have to forgive to find it, Lily finished. The silence in the auditorium was complete. Then, a mother began to applaud. Then another. In seconds, the entire auditorium was on its feet, applauding. Amelia had tears streaming down her cheeks. Victor was also crying, not trying to hide it. "Thank you for listening to us," the twins said in unison, bowing. When they came down from the stage, they ran directly towards their parents. Victor picked them both up in his arms. "You were incredible," he told them. "I'm the proudest daddy in the world." "Did you like what we said?" Lily asked. "I loved it," he said. "You told the most beautiful truth I've ever heard." Amelia approached and hugged the three most important people in her life. "I love you all so much," she whispered. Finn joined the family hug. "We're the weirdest but coolest family in the world," he declared. After the presentation, as they walked to the parking lot, Rose took Victor's hand. "Daddy, are you going to have dinner with us today?" "If your mommy invites me." Victor looked at Amelia. "You're invited," Amelia smiled. "But you're cooking? Can I help?" Finn asked. "To make sure you don't burn anything." Victor laughed. "Of course, I need all the help I can get." As they got into their respective cars to go home, Amelia watched Victor helping the twins with their seatbelts. He did it with a patience and tenderness that months ago would have been impossible to imagine. Lily rolled down the window of Victor's car. "Mommy, do you think Daddy will ever come live with us?" Amelia looked at Victor, who had heard the question. He returned her gaze with a mixture of hope and respect for her decision. "I don't know, my love," Amelia replied honestly. "But what I do know is that we are a family, and that will never change." Victor started his car and followed Amelia home. On the way, he looked in the rearview mirror at his daughters, who were singing a song they had learned at school. For the first time in his life, Victor Sterling knew exactly where he belonged. Not in a luxury mansion, not in an executive office, not at gala dinners. He belonged here, driving behind the woman he loved, taking his daughters home, about to try cooking without burning dinner. He belonged to this imperfect, complicated, beautiful family. And finally, after 35 years of life, he felt complete. What an incredible emotional journey we've just experienced with Victor, Amelia, Lily, and Rose. This story shows us that true love sometimes comes in unexpected ways, and that it's never too late to do the right thing. Isn't it beautiful how these two brave girls managed to unite a family that fate had separated? If this story touched your heart as much as it touched ours, don't forget to like this video and share it with that special person who needs to hear that happy endings do exist. Did you want more stories like this? Then subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming stories full of drama, love, and second chances. We love knowing we have an amazing community of people who love good stories as much as we do. And now, we want to get to know you better. What country are you watching from? Leave us a comment telling us where you're from and what you liked most about Victor and Amelia's story.